Hey guys, it's Sarah here. In this video, I'm going to go over nursing school with kids. So let's get started. So just as an introduction, so before I started nursing school, I had one kid. During nursing school, I had another kid. And now I'm in nurse practitioner school and I just had a baby. So to answer your guys' questions, is it doable? It is definitely doable. Is it hard? Definitely. So here's some stuff that I would recommend to any parent or someone who's going to have a baby during school. Number one, top tip I would recommend is never save anything for last minute. So the thing about school is that you start the semester, you get a list of dates, test 1, test 2, test 3, this day discussion post is due, and you have all your dates out. With kids, that does not work at all. Kids don't go by a schedule. The day that you wanted to study is the day they'll be sick. Or even if you're pregnant, you'll have to go for an appointment that day of the test or something like that. So the way you have to make it work is by never saving anything for last minute. What I like to do is that I never did anything the day before. So if something was due on Monday, I would make sure it was at least done by Saturday. In that way, that when Sunday came and my kid was screaming or my kid didn't want to go to sleep or something else happened and it ruined my studying schedule or my assignment schedule, then I never had to have anything late. Everything was on time and I never had a problem because everything was always the day before. So that's what I would recommend to you, is never saving anything for last minute. Never say, oh, I'm going to study the day before or I'm going to stay up all night and study. You could do that and I hope it works out. But with kids, you can't really plan that much because your kid, like I said, there's so many stuff that kids could happen or just not listen and scream and decide that was their day they were not going to fall asleep. It's just not worth it to risk not handing in an assignment on time or doing really bad on a test. Okay, I'm going to do the remainder of this video without her because she was getting a little cranky, so I put her in her swing. Anyways, so my next point is time management. So just think of kids like another job that you have, either full-time or part-time. If you have a newborn, it would be more like a full-time job. If you have older kid, like a 10-year-old or even older, it's like a kind of a part-time job because you could entertain them with activities and other stuff that they could entertain themselves. In general, you can't be doing schoolwork on another job. So this is how I like to think of school. You have school that entertains a lot of your work. You have your other part-time job, which is your kids, and then you have very little time left. So during that time, you have to maximize your time. So for me, this was when I was traveling. I was making sure I was listening to YouTube videos. If I was on the train, I was writing notes. And that way, when I came home, I already have studied an hour, more like 2 hours, because an hour there, an hour back. I already reviewed my material. And I was multitasking because I was driving while doing that. And also, some other stuff that I did for time management. I never got my nails done really during school. I would make sure to do them at home. So I would do my nails while I was listening to videos or while I was writing the report. And in that way, because when you go do your nails, it takes you 10 minutes to get there, 10 minutes to get back, plus at least 45 minutes for them to dry. And it's just time consuming. And yes, you would rather get it, but it's all about time management. And also under time management, is I know there's different ways to study and some people study in study groups. But what I found is that the study groups were fun, but they did not help with time management. When you're with a lot of people, you talk a lot, you chat a lot, which is good. You eat and stuff like that. But this ended up being that it took me triple the amount of time in a study group than to do it myself. So I kind of ditched the study groups. I studied myself. It took me way quicker. Yes, it would have been funner in a study group and it would have kept me up and other stuff. But honestly, I just didn't have the time with the kids to go and do it with a lot of people. And another thing I did for time management is that I did not do the readings. The readings, they want you practically to read the whole book. I don't even know how people without kids do it, let alone with kids. You don't have time to read the whole book. So what I did is I did the YouTube videos again. So let's say we were learning about pneumonia or antibiotics. Then I would go on YouTube and find someone who was reviewing that. There's so many different people. There are doctors who have videos, there are nurses who have videos. But either way, all the videos are great and it helped me, it saved me a lot of time. I was even playing on the floor doing puzzles with my kids while listening in the background. So that's all for time management. It really helps just multitasking, putting stuff together, and in that way it minimizes your study time you need to do because you've been studying the whole time, and it just helps you function and gives you more time for yourself. The next point I want to make is to get help. What I mean by getting help is that you're not Superwoman. You can't do a full-time job plus kids plus everything. So accept help and get help, either from a spouse, a mother, a sister, someone who could come and help you either make dinners or watch your kids some days, especially during like your final time. And if you can't, like let's just say your parents are overseas or something like that, what I recommend is getting help from other stuff. It doesn't have to be people. For instance, there's like cheat sheets like this that you could download, and many people sell all different stuff like that on Etsy and all these different places that cost like $1 for a cheat sheet. And it just helps you. You have all your information there. You could study it in one shot. And also stuff like getting help from items. For instance, you could get like a robotic cleaner. Yes, it could cost a little bit. I'll link the one below that I used. But it did cost, but it was an investment for my 2 years in nursing school, because instead of me having to go ahead and clean, which takes a while to sweep and this and that, it did it for me. I pressed the button, it did it for me, my house was clean. It just was a good investment. And another thing like that you could get help with is Google. If you ever have a question and you have to do like a discussion post, you'll always find someone who had the same question on Google, and you could just look it up and it really helps you. My other point is to prepare everything ahead of time. So under this, number one, I did dinners. I would make the dinner with my daughters, like one Sunday, just sit there. We would make a lot of dinners. They would love it because they would be my helpers, and we would bake and cook, and then I would freeze everything. So it would be in the freezer, and then when I came home from school, I would just take it out, defrost it, and serve it. It saved me like an hour of cooking every single day. And it also was time spent with my kids because they like to like be a helper and cook with you, you know. Also to prepare, I would make sure that all the kids' clothing and everything was done the night before. I would pack their bags so that in the morning nothing would like go crazy and, oh, we can't find this and we forgot to do the laundry. And I would make it out to school on time. Another thing under this is that do stuff with your kids. So let's say you have to do the laundry. If you have like a 14-year-old, she's not gonna want to do the laundry with you. But if you have like a 4-year-old, they like to like be mommy's helper or whatever, and they'll help you. So just do it with them, make it a game, be like, oh, do you find the red one? And do it with them. Meanwhile, you're spending time with your kids and you're getting your laundry done or whatever chore you have to do, and you're not using your alone time for that. And last but not least, what I want to say is have me time. This is really hard with kids, honestly. Kids, school, or a job, whatever you have in your life going on. But you can't take care of others without taking care of yourself. So you need to set aside time for yourself, and it has to be a time allotted, because if you're just going to allow yourself to, you know, like watch movies, you're going to get addicted and keep watching them. So what I like to do is, like, let's just say I would be like every night for 45 minutes to an hour I'd have to myself. So when the kids go to sleep or my husband would watch them for an hour, I'd have to myself. So during that time, you could either have a movie, you could exercise, whatever you like to do. And it would be an hour, which is a good enough time. And whether that means that I got like an hour less of sleep the next day, or make sure that you're taking care of yourself so you can take care of others. And make sure that you have like a capped out time, because otherwise you're gonna go over or go less, and then it's just not gonna be good. So give yourself a certain amount of time every single night for yourself. You could literally sit there doing nothing, but you need it. And those are the tips that I did during school. And I really think that they're necessary, and I really think that it really is doable with kids in school. Yes, you're gonna have no time to yourself, say goodbye to going out with friends, and everything like that. But you could do it, and so school's only for a certain amount of time. So look at the end goal, and you'll be done very soon. And I'll put some links to some resources that I used and that I recommend that I wish I had and I would have used for all moms or people who are becoming moms to help them through school. So please like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Bye.